here's number 1 in the review for the quiz. Write n equals 4 and a equals 81 in radical form. So what we need to remember is that this n stands for the index. So let's write something at the top first. So remember that you can write nth root of a. You can write that as also as a to the 1 over n. So remember that we can go both directions. So if you see it in this form, we can rewrite it here. Remember that the denominator of that fraction is the index. Number on top just stays on top. Maybe to remind us, if we had a to the m over n, we can write that as a to the 1 over n raised to the mth power. And then this part here is just like what we did here, right? So we can rewrite this as nth root of a to the power of m. So we do that because we want to evaluate this first before we do that exponent m. So let's try letter 1a. N equals 4, so that's our index of a, which is 81. So that's the first step, write it in radical form. Now simplify or evaluate. So 4th root of 81, so if we break it down first, it's 9 times 9. And we need 4 of them because the index is 4. So 4th root of 3 times 3, that's the first 9, and then another 3 times 3. I need 4 of them, so this is perfect. So therefore the answer is just 3, and it's even, so it's plus or minus 3. Okay, so remember the plus or minus. Write in radical form. So we have 16 3/4. So the 4 is the index, 16, and then that 3, the numerator, just goes on top on the outside. Okay, so there's several ways to write it, but here is one way. Now evaluate. So what we want to do is this first. The reason why we want to do that first, because 16 times 16 times 16 is really large. Now if I take the 4th root of the 16, that's a little nicer, a lot nicer. So let's do the 4th root of 16 first. So let's break that down. The 16 is just 4 times 4, right? Or hopefully you remember that that is just 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Then we're going to do the 3rd power to it. Now it's perfect, so there are 4 2's, so it comes out. So it's 2. Now it's raised to the 3rd power. That power is still here. And then what's 2 to the 3rd power? 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2. And so that is 8. Now let's try this one. This is our quotient property. This was 5.2, day 3. 5.2, day 3, or 5.2c. And so with these, looking at 6 and 48, so is that divisible? It is. And the other thing is we know that we have the same exact exponent. So what we want to do is we're going to move that to the outside because I want to be able to divide 48 and 6. So you have to do that step first. So 48 over 6, and then move the 1/4 to the outside. Then what you do is you take this 6, and it's going to multiply to that exponent, right? You multiply exponents, power of a power property. Now 48 over 6, that is 8. And now we multiply across for our fraction, and that is 6 over 4. Now can I reduce 6 over 4? Yes, 6 over 4 I can. I can divide 2 into the numerator and denominator, so we have to reduce. So 6 goes into 2 3 times, 2 goes into 4 2 times, and we can't evaluate more than that, so we can leave it as 8 to the 3 halves. Let's try number 4. So this is multiplying. This is also 5.2, day 3. And so we're just simplifying. And what we want to do, instead of multiplying 8 times 32, let's start to break it down. 8 is 4 times 2, and 32 is 8 times 4. So I'm seeing 2 4's here. And so I'm going to break down this 8. I'm going to take out another 4. That 8 will change to, so let me write what we have, 4 times 2 times 4. And that 8, I'm going to break down to another 2 and another 4. Okay, now I have these 2 2's here, and I already see that I have 3 4's, so I have a 4. I have a 4th root, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that 2 times 2 to another 4. So this changes to a 4, and then I'm going to bring everything else down. And so my index is 4. And so therefore, this is just 4. Okay, that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is we can break it down the other way. And that's fine as well. So break down 8. 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. 32, oh, that's 5 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so just recognizing those numbers. 2 to the 5th is 32. 2 to the 3rd is 8. 2 to the 4 is 16. So maybe you remember those. And so we need, it's an index of 4, so we're going to circle 4. 4 2s and another 4 2s. And so we see that we take one each out. 2 times 2, which is just 4. Okay, so either way that you want to do it, it's however you see it. It's totally up to you. All right, so I'll save the rest for the next video.